actually does look like a lot of fun. It reminds me of the Olympics and all the cool activities they're doing. I like the biathlon, also the downhill skiing. I think it's so impressive. And the ice skating too. I saw that yesterday. Speaking of the Olympics, like to do this forecast here on 6 Plus. They have really hit a warming trend the past couple of days, continuing that for your Friday forecast. Of course, they are already in the evening right now. It is only 11:15 here in Central Texas for the time being. So we always look at the next day's forecast and the next day of events because they're already going to be beginning tomorrow. But anyway, they're going to be at 60 degrees in Milan, further south. Further north that you go, of course, you get into the mountainous zones, and they're in the 30s and 40s once again. But still trending warmer than what they were. They had some snow earlier in the week that has since cleared out. Another system on the way for the upcoming weekend, though. Here at home, weather getting interesting. Fresh new weather impact alert for some rowdy thunderstorms, good old-fashioned rain. Definitely could disrupt your plans, time frame being on Saturday. So our weather team just came up with a plan. We are not going to leave you hanging here, mainly here on 6 Plus. Of course, we have our newscast at 6 and 10 p.m. on Saturday, but even in the morning hours, we're going to be tracking radar. We're going to be streaming radar here on 6 Plus all day through the evening as storms are ushered out from west to east. So this is where you can tune in, get the live video updates from our weather team all day on Saturday, watch our newscast that evening. But 6 Plus is where we have the live stream of radar, and we'll be doing those live video updates. All right, so today, calm, quiet, warm. It's about the warmth. That's the primary story. The sun has been shining brightly. We woke up in the 40s, 50s, already just about 70 degrees across the viewing area. A little bit cooler on our northwestern quadrant, but it's 66 in Lampasas right now, already 73 in Caldwell, 70 in Brenham. So we're all going to go well up into the 70s, approach almost 80 degrees this afternoon. A few more clouds this afternoon versus what we're seeing early this morning. So I would still call it mostly sunny skies with some upper level clouds sneaking in. No rain chance this afternoon, even when we see those clouds filter in. High temperature is going to be about 80 in Cameron, 79 Gatesville, 78 Burnett. You get the story. It's going to be very, very warm, trending almost 20 degrees above the average this afternoon. Overnight lows on the warm side. When you see this, it is typically going to mean higher humidity, cloud cover, potential change here. This time of year, our typical lows are well down into the 40s, sometimes even 30s. So to see 60s here, indicative of something, and it is that uptick in moisture cloud cover to the region as we approach Friday. So that's the main difference between today and tomorrow. Both days are going to be trending on the warm side, approaching 80 degrees for highs, but tomorrow morning, you may not even want a light jacket. We wake up in the 60s. Increase in cloud cover throughout the day on Friday. Almost completely cloudy skies, maybe a couple of sprinkles, but I think a lot of us, precipitation is holding off on Friday, okay? Saturday is going to be the bulk of it. Unfortunately, models are backing down on overall rain totals, projections for that, but it is ramped up a little bit in terms of potential thunderstorm activity. So let's go through this timeline here on Futurecast. I'm going to show you two models. This one is called the Her, performs pretty well a day out. You can see potentially in the overnight hours Friday outside of our viewing area towards the west and northwest into West Texas, they have the threat for severe weather Friday night. For us, it's going to hold off. It's going to be off to the west again. But Saturday morning, potentially we wake up to pockets of fog. It is going to be very muggy when you step out. Temperature is going to be on the warm side in the 60s. All right, so this graph model goes out a little further and can actually show you potentially what radar is going to look like. Again, we're going to see an increase in cloud cover throughout the day on Friday, but stay dry. Saturday morning, we could have patchy fog or some drizzle. So if you're like me, my son has a soccer game at 8:30 a.m. I think that game does occur because it's not going to be pouring rain. There may be a little bit of drizzle. It's going to be very, very humid in the 60s. Just to the west of our viewing area, likely there is some thunderstorm activity, but it's going to be isolated. That's Saturday morning. Fast forward to Saturday night, and you can see I'm going to back up here just for a second because I have the time to do so because it didn't take my main pause point I wanted to show you. So quickly, I'm going to roll through this. You can see Friday dry. We roll into Friday night. Storms are to our west. We go into Saturday. I'm going to stop right here and show you that late morning through early afternoon is going to be the peak of things. Even as we roll on into 2, 3, 4 o'clock, I think there's going to be several thunderstorms on radar, and then things are going to start to move from west to east outside of the viewing area. Going to pause one more time right here on purpose because Likely what we have happening is it starts to become more linear throughout the afternoon hours and early evening for that initial line of storms. So there could be, for example, a couple of strong and maybe even low in threshold severe thunderstorm warnings for wind and hail at about 1/4 in size. That's the initial line, and behind it, this model is pulling in just one more round of precipitation right around where the frontal boundary is situated. That's going to have a secondary severe threat. So again, primary risk all the way through. I would say for I-35 corridor, the risk is going to go way down and be non-existent by dinner. Our eastern counties, it can last a little bit further towards like 8, 9 o'clock, but our whole viewing area is good to go by when you're going to bed on Saturday. As you can see, everything is clearing out. And again, if it becomes more linear, it's going to become more of a straight line wind threat versus the hail. But I do think we do potentially have, we're going to be very close to that threshold for when they trigger severe thunderstorm warnings. So something to definitely pay attention to as storms do move from west to east throughout the day on Saturday. Forecasted rainfall, like I said, some models have been backed off a little bit on that. I think it's going to be widespread from about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And then especially our northern areas that are have more moisture to tap into closer to the center of the low, potentially a couple of lucky folks get an inch of rain. Level 1 marginal risk is going to be for potentially the low and threshold wind threat, straight line wind threat, and then small pockets of hail going to be possible. So again, the 7-day forecast, the main thing is Saturday. Of course, it's Valentine's Day. You have dinner plans. You have that big question of, are we or aren't we going to be able to do our thing on Saturday evening? It's questionable, but I think things are clearing out right around then. So it's going to be close to, if you can back your dinner plans up to more like 8, 9 o'clock versus like 6 p.m., you're going to have a lot better bet of it happening without the weather impacting you and having to be outside and dodge the storms and things of that nature. But that's the only chance for rain. You can see President's Day on the warm side, even warm. Oh my gosh, Wednesday, 84. That is 25 degrees above the norm. So we are trending ridiculously warm for this entire month of February. And Jasmine, at this point, I just keep thinking, like, is winter going to return? We're getting close to March.
I mean, my goodness, like, what month is it? All right, thank you so much, Whitney.